Hello, I'm Richard Morton. This is my partner, Wendy. We're talking today about validation, how we all need it. We all seek approval in some type, becoming young people, and how our parents viewed us, how they responded with us or reacted to us in various ways. But whether we like it or not, we do like approval. We do seek validation. And many times growing up in families and the way we were raised, like many were, it was taught to be tougher. We wanted tough kids because life was tough. We wanted kids that had a thick skin so they could face storms of life. So many parents were believed that by not validating, by being tougher, by being more condemning, that we were building this stronger person inside. In reality, it made it worse. It made so many discontent people inside because we didn't get it when we were young, and we're an adult still seeking it in various ways. We get married, have a partner, and we're trying to seek the same validation, and they don't realize it either, so we're getting dismissed there. So where do we go with it from here? How do we navigate this from here when we realize this has been a lifelong journey? We're still seeking it, not getting it. What do we do now?
And of course, when you're entering retirement phases, you don't have as large a circle to look for. I think a lot of us receive the validation and some form of accolades in our professional lives. We went to work and did things that we were good at, or we weren't working there for very long. Not always, but a lot of the time you received some form of reward for that, whether it was monetary, whether it was good job, whether it was the recognition of your coworkers. So you go from parents who really had no idea and were trying to do the best they could into an environment where you created some sort of stability and validation for yourself. And now you've taken the next step into this great big world of opportunity, and all of that sense of being secure and good at what you're doing just kind of evaporates. And we've got a partner, and there's a really good chance that there's never been that conversation because there's probably never been time for it. And there was probably also never the need for it because that particular niche or need was dealt with in other ways. So here we are at this crossroads of, for me, it's now a year into being retired, and you're starting to get into a rhythm and everything else. But there's also sort of an unease about what more should I be doing? Like an unsettled part of it. So, and then you sort of look to your partner going, do you feel the same? And it takes on a whole new level of conversation.
And again, when we're looking for these needs to be fulfilled, it's still coming from the childhood stage. It's still coming from that sense of not having those needs met. And we don't know. We don't get this data sheet that we look at. You've never validated, so you need some approval sequences, like if you lovely to have some computer printout. The reason you're struggling here is because this was going on in your system. And probably with AI, this might be able to produce some of it, but it's still, we are looking for this, but it's also, we've got often so much shame attached to it. And perhaps we were seeking approval. We were seeking it in various ways, and we did things to look for approval, and the family, parents meaning well, but in a sense just ignored us. Or if we showed them something, like a report card, and we thought we did well, and you got you could have gotten better here. So you get this rough voice of dismissal, and in your mind, you start to pin it like, I can't do anything. And what it does, it makes us hide. It makes us avoid situations where we might even encounter these. So then we're in our adult or retirement, and we want to have a more peaceful life, but these sometimes unmet needs come to the surface. Maybe we've left a job where we had a really enjoyable job. We have retired. So we come home and it's a new relationship. If both people have worked and now they're back into their environment 24/7, that's a different kettle of fish. Now nobody has space, and you're not able to have the connection or the communication about your needs because you just don't, it's not plain to understand. It's not obvious. It's something in you that is upsetting you. and your partner's looking for the same in some ways, and you can't figure it out. So, like, you're talking two different languages.
And generally where it seems to spark is you'll end up in some sort of stupid, petty argument over something, and well, for us, generally you look back a day or two and go, we were both saying the same thing, but just in different words, just because you're unsettled and frustrated. So I believe that and we've talked about this in many of our conversations, the starting point is to settle that body. It's just allowing yourself to be settled into the deep breath and the letting everything kind of drop and the, okay, just relax, just be. And from that point, conversation becomes easier and you can sort of take a step back and start looking at things. What do you think, Richard?
Well, again, regulating the body because our tension builds because somewhere there was a trigger. And when we don't understand what it was, but suddenly we're upset or more because we've done something, went out and like a typical scene is, you've gone to the store to pick up some stuff, you had the list
Right.
and you got everything on the list but the one item. And perhaps you couldn't find it. Like most men, we struggle looking at shelves. And your partner looks at you and goes, in some form of like, well, that's the one ingredient I really needed. So you did your best, but this irritant reply can obviously replicate something you've experienced before. And now you think you did your best and it wasn't enough. And the way they replied, you're pissed off. And it's just a response. It's a reaction in the body. So again, we could fight back, and get snotty, and then it gets tit for tat, or you can learn to just regulate your body. And one of the tools I use often is, we'll do time sheets, but again, is hand on heart, hand on belly, some breath, and just say, open, please, open, please, open, please. And open whatever is frustrating me about the way my spouse replied to me. Open, please. Open up the trigger points of whatever those nuances, the voice tone, the way she said it, the way she looked, probably represented for me, my mother, the way they would reply or react to me. So you've ran hard, you've done this, and suddenly you're within, and you're looking for a thank you, and instead you got shamed or condemned. Now,
Yeah.
decades later, you're with your partner, they do the same thing. It's the same reaction. It's a state in your body that's reacting. It's nothing wrong with you. It's an emotional state, and the trigger was there, and now you're in reaction. So we're working to calm, regulate, and clear that emotional state. And you can say, open all time seeps of this frustration. Open, please. Open, please. Open, clear. You open all time seeps of my reaction that's been there for decades. Open, please. Open, clear. Clear and delete now. And just repeat this process a number of times. You can add in more words, but first thing is open, please. Open all time sweeps. Open and clear whatever the heck is pissing me off so much right now. And be honest with yourself. The most important part is being honest with your feelings and your emotions of whatever it is that's going through your system. You can't ignore these because they're going to stay there until you acknowledge them. I'm acknowledging whatever it is that's got me so wound up. And if you have to be colorful with your language, but be truthful to yourself.
Thank you. Enjoy your evening.